Are we there yet? Okay, it's time for another Project Git Good update. It's been a while since we've had one of these, and yeah, we're here in week 104 of Project Git Good, end of 2022 season 3, and it's been pretty good. It's been a good season. I'm gonna throw up a little card here from the iResult Discord bot that kind of shows a little bit of our statistics, and then we're gonna scoot on over. I'm gonna talk about some numbers, and I'm gonna have some race footage up. That way I can edit out all my ums and pauses and all of that fun stuff, and you guys won't be able to see it. All right, here we go. All right, so to kick things off, I'm just gonna talk about how our iRating changed over the course of this season, and compare it a little bit with previous seasons. I guess if you're new to iRacing and you're kind of stumbling upon this, your iRating is basically your ELO matchmaking ranking. It's a number, it goes up or down kind of depending on who you place ahead of and behind in your races. We started off this season with an iRating of 1441, and we finished it up with a iRating of 2194, which means we gained 753 iRating over the course of the season, which for me is the most I've gained, I think, in a single season. I don't know about the very early ones that I've had, but I think that's probably the most I've gained in a season. Basically means that we averaged about 62.75 iRating per week. That iRating puts us in the top 17.8% of all 2022 season 3 drivers across all the road series. We only really raced one series, so I don't know kind of how that depends or how that fits into things, but I don't have that analytical knowledge quite yet. But basically over the course of the season, this is how I've got a little graph here of how our iRating changed, and from looking at this chart and also from my memory, it feels like about the first quarter of the season it went up pretty quick, and then we started hitting tougher splits, and it kind of slowed down to like a steady increase up until kind of at the end, the last quarter of the season, we had a little spike, and then it kind of leveled out, and we kind of stayed where we were. If memory serves, like kind of the end of the season. I think we had a big gain at Watkins maybe, and then the last few courses were tough for me, like Nürburgring and Imola wasn't so strong at. So I think that kind of explains the petering out. Plus the end of the season, my gusto may not have been as gusty. But now, if you compare that to previous seasons, last season was way up and down. I started off last season, and it was pretty flat too. I started off last season with a 1452 in iRating, and it ended up at 1441, so pretty flat. But it fluctuated pretty hard, and I chalked that up to jumping around between a bunch of different series. During that season, I did a bunch of different series, mostly focused on TCR, which I think is where my ups came from, but then also a handful of GT3, Formula 4, and Porsche Cup races, which probably account for the stuff that I wasn't as practiced up for, so I didn't quite get the bumps that I did this season, just focusing on the one series. The season prior to that, 2022 season 1, we started out with a iRating of 1191, which I felt pretty good about at the time, but then we quickly jumped up to like probably the 1600 mark, and kind of went up. And I think we peaked somewhere in the 2000s, and then we kind of came back down and settled around 1506 to be exact. So that one, the big high peak was the TCRs at Summit Point, where I really had a pretty good handle on, and I really ground that one race to hit the 2000. I don't think I had the overall handle on it to keep that going, and that's why we kind of petered out towards the end. And I mean, we had the big jump. That's about 300 iRating over the course of that season, and I would chalk that mostly up to that was when I started doing the track guides and really focusing on making sure I had good prep for the week before the week. And that was a big contributing factor this season too. Just doing the track guides and making sure I had good prep for the week really paid dividends as far as the iRating increase and the general skill increase too. So yeah, I am really happy and really proud of the big jump I think the iRating at least shows as far as our skill level going up. And I'm curious and a little excited to see where that goes from here. I don't know that the next 800 iRating points are going to be quite as simple as these ones were. It felt this season the progress did not feel quite so hard to come by as in previous seasons. I don't know what to chalk that up to, but I'm kind of surprised at the big bump that we got here. But it's still proud. Like I don't know why things are clicking like they are, but I'm happy that they are. So yeah, I'm also really happy and proud with how I did in the series that I competed in. As far as the championship points go, I ended up in Division 4 this season, which like I guess I don't know with how I started out, like with the iRating, it put us in Division 4. I don't know what division I'm going to end up in this coming season. It's going to be higher, I imagine. But as far as the standings, where we ended up in Division 4 in the Open Porsche Cup Series, ended up 10th of 1,208 drivers. And then in the Fixed Series, I ended up 12th out of 617 drivers. Both of those Division 4. And I believe that puts us in the top like 1% of all the drivers in our division. How good of an assessment of skill that is, I don't know. Overall, in the Open Series, I placed 222nd out of 7,199, which puts me in the top 3.1% of people who participated in the Open Series Porsche Cup. And then in the Fixed, overall, all divisions, placed 266th out of 9,613 drivers who participated in that series, and that puts me in the top 2.8% of that series, championship points wise. And I don't know how much the time of day that I drive is affecting that, because the strength of field of the races that you go into changes these things. As far as your championship points outcome are, but also in a higher strength of field race, it's harder to place higher. But like I end up in these weird races that have like they don't split sometimes, so we get like 8,000 IR drivers and also 800 IR drivers in the same race, and I think it should average out okay, but I think it does kind of change things a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if it's in my favor or against me, if that makes sense. Maybe you have a idea of how that affects things and can put a comment down below and let me know. Either way, both series also fun notes. In the Great Plains region, I was the top driver, with the second place driver in the Open Series being kind of close behind me, and in the Fixed Series I think there was a 200 point championship difference between me and second place, and then pretty big drop off to third. So as far as Great Plains Porsche Cup drivers, as long as you keep getting more and more specific, I can find something that I'm the best at. Anyway, yeah, I'm super happy with how this season turned out, and I'm excited for the next one. I think this coming season I'm still going to be practicing and working on the Porsche Cup. Right now is probably my favorite car to drive in the sim, and I don't see a real reason to change. I'm gonna keep doing the track guides. There's gonna be a couple weeks where I'm out of town. I will try and pre-record those weeks as far as track guides go, so there will be something up on the channel. And there's also some weeks where we've done the same track previously. If it's one where I think I can do a lot better or something's changed a little bit, I'll redo it. If it's a double up and I don't think it's going to be super useful to try and get a better time or whatnot, we'll try and do a track guide for a different series. Right now I'm thinking the Mission R Porsche for the weeks where we don't. As far as looking at the preliminary schedule, it looks like it's going to follow the same courses that the Porsche Cup, the same tracks that they go to. So it'll be not apples to apples, but it'll be the same courses anyway. And then we still have the videos from last season to go back to if we want to for those track guides with the Porsche Cup car. And then there's the Audi ones. I don't know how much the Audi's changed for this season, so I don't know how good those guides are gonna be. You'll have to let me know if they're kind of out of date, and we'll see about redoing them at some point. But yeah, if you've got any suggestions about anything else, any other series you want instead for the track guides for the alternate weeks where we've already done them, leave a comment down below. I'll take it under advisement, but no promises. If you're enjoying things, hit the subscribe button. It helps out a lot. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. And yeah, we'll see you this coming season, and have a good one. Bye now.